Go check me out. Twitch.tv, The Atomic AS, Hitbox.tv, The Atomic AS.
Shameless plug.
Yeah, shameless.
Do
Completely
you have that
shameless.
as an audio bite on your computer, Osiris? So you don't even have
No,
to
but
say it. You just hit a button. You just 'cause we do the shameless plugs quite a bit. At least I do.
I should. I
So
should
you
record
get a-
that and
yeah,
make a
prefer-
sound panel or
Yep,
whatever
there
it's
you
Yes,
go.
he
called.
needs a soundbite of that. But yeah, this is I guess you'd call it an RPG. And you play the amnesiac Dust. And the first scene in the game is a talking sword comes up and says that you've chosen him. And then the sword's guardian comes up. And then you and the sword and the guardian go off and fight some things. And that's about all I know of the game so far. Yeah.
It's filled with furries.
It well, your characters are furry. I don't know so much about the bad guys. Good guys look like furries.
I will say though, from watching the streams and the YouTube videos, it's definitely a very good-looking game. The artistic style, just it works great.
I believe it might have said that it was hand drawn.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's hand painted.
Would you know what the style of
Wait, what?
art-
How do you
art
hand
that
paint?
is?
You use like a Wacom or something, or Wacom or tablet or whatever.
You might do that, or you might actually paint like with brushes.
Do you do that like right on the monitor? How does that get into the computer then? All right, go ahead. Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah,
technology.
yeah, what is this technology you speak of?
You're asking me questions. I don't know these things.
Yeah, it looks great though, artistically, and the game looks like it plays smooth also, which are really good things that we don't talk about.
If you get this game for Linux, on Steam, disable the Steam overlay. It crashes straight away with the overlay.
Well,
Yeah.
good pointer. That's what we're having you review the games for.
Yes.
You can let our viewers know the
Actually,
gotchas.
I tried to play this game about 5 or 6 times just randomly since I got it. And it would always crash on me. I was like, why is this game crashing? Is this just a shitty port? No, you got to turn off the overlay.
So is that like is there a way do you launch Steam from the command line with some kind of switch that turns the overlay off, or is it a setting within the settings once you get in Steam? Do you know?
You right-click on the game, hit Properties, and there's one checkbox in the General tab, and that is Enable the Steam overlay while in game.
Okay,
And just make sure it's unchecked.
gotcha.
And that's a per game setting. If you want to do it globally, you can go to View Settings and Interface,
All right.
maybe. And no, in game. Yeah,
All right. Cool.
or maybe. I'm not sure. I can't find the damn checkbox. It's somewhere in there.
Yeah, I've never had to disable or enable it's enabled by default. I've never had to disable the overlay, which is the reason I thought you could share that with our viewers if you knew where it was. So
Well,
you're not
you
seeing
know where to
it off the
disable
top.
it per game.
Okay, gotcha. All right, sweet. So
it is in game. It's at the very top of the in-game tab in the Steam settings.
Okay, gotcha. Let's see here. So, is there anything? Osiris, have you played this yet?
No, I was actually debating buying it during the Steam sale, but ended up with Shadowrun and Tomb Raider.
Wow, really? Some Laura Croft? You just like her and her big tits with her short shorts, don't you?
Well, they're kind of small now, relatively.
Really? They took away some of her boobs?
Yes.
Oh my gosh!
Well, she's
I
supposed to
didn't
be
even
younger.
know that was a
so-
thing. Oh, okay, gotcha. She hasn't quite fully evolved.
Not like-
I mean, evolved.
Not
No.
not like just starting puberty small, but like
Under 18 small, so
No.
we shouldn't really be talking about it because we'll probably get banned.
No.
All right, gotcha.
No, she's still over 18.
Oh, then it's fair
But-
game. All right, sweet.
No, I bought the game because I heard that AMD said they have some of the hair acceleration particles. So I was like, yo, all about that hair acceleration technology.
But you don't have an AMD card.
Don't need an AMD card. I have a 780.
Does it work on the 780?
Does Laura Croft work on the 780? What do you mean?
Her hair.
Does her hair work?
Oh yeah, no. AMD doesn't pull that garbage that Nvidia does, where you can only get these special effects with our brand new special technologies only on Nvidia.
Because I'm playing. I've got Tomb Raider 2013 running on my Arch install under Wine, and the Tress FX is grayed out for me.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know.
All right.
I will let you know though when I do figure that out.
Yeah. But back to Dust.
I saw you playing it yesterday night for a little bit.
Yeah.
It kind of.
I believe I may have tried this with my wireless controller, and it worked like shit, as it does in most games.
Yeah.
But with the wired controller, it's good to go.
Sweet. Sweet. All right. Well, that pretty much covers. So, would you recommend that as a buy or no?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Let's see.
Cool. You can get it on Steam now for
15.
$15. 15 smackarooskies.
There is one little punch in the balls, though.
Uh-oh.
When you launch a thing, one of the first logos you see is Microsoft Studios.
Really? What is... that's weird. They're the ones that
Really?
developed the game?
I would have thought
Apparently.
that this was a indie game. Apparently not.
All right.
I mean, it's now slightly tainted because Microsoft has a hand in it.
Right. All right. Well, that pretty much covers Dust and Elysian Tale. So you heard it from Atomic first. Go get the game. It's worth a buy. As he said, it needs a little bit of controller testing. I thought that's right. Is that what you said?
No, that was I didn't edit that note.
Okay, controllers work. Controller support is there. All right,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Wired controller support.
Wired controller.
Wireless.
Right. So the only gotcha was to make sure the Steam overlay was disabled. All right.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right, going into our first, we got a ton of topics to go over. Lots going on in the open source world and the Linux's world over here. And the first one we'll go into is the game Trine, the Enchanted Edition, actually got an update already. And it was just released not too long ago. I want to say it was released back on the 14th of November. So less than a month ago. And the developers have already patched the game, which is fantastic. And I think other Linux developers need to take note, because I'm tired of games like Deadfall Adventures that gets released, and it is a port. Yes, it's a port, but all of a sudden there's all these bugs in the game, and you hear nothing from the developer or from the port developer or from the actual company, and there's just no support of their game. Like, that would be... don't even get me started on that. Anyway, so the point of this story is that Trine received an update already, and not just for Linux. There were some OS X changes in this patch as well. So one of the things that they fixed in the Linux version was there was a gamepad binding issue. And I actually experienced the bug myself. While I was playing with Osiris, I could not assign a skill point. You know, I'd push the select button. Yes, I use a controller. I was pushing the select button, and the menu just was not coming up for editing my skill points, so I couldn't set them. So I did some digging and found out that they, in the original release of the game, they had an regular binding and an alternate binding, so you could assign two different keys for the same function. Well, that the keys were both assigned to the same key, which I guess made the game bug out and not work at all for that particular button, which was the select button. So, I had fixed it by just removing the alternate binding from that key, and I was okay to go. I was good to go. Well, soon after I had done that, they release a patch and fix it. So, awesome. This is the kind of things that need to occur with game development. You have a bug in your game, then fix the damn game. The other things that they fixed were crackling audio on some Linux machines. They fixed missing audio effects. And also on level 1, Austral Academy, they were missing the night sky. So they fixed that level. I mean, so those, maybe they seem like small little things, but it's just the point that the developers took their time. They listened to the Steam community, or they listened to the gaming community, that they were having these specific issues. They patched it, released their patch, boom, we're happy. I mean, I'm having a lot of fun playing Trine Enchanted Edition. Atomic, Osiris, you guys enjoying the game so far?
Yeah.
Awesome as ever.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great game. It's total. I think it's worth the little bit of scratch that they're selling it for, and I would definitely recommend anyone pick Trine up. If you they did originally, so this Trine, if you own Trine already, that original one did not have multiplayer support. So basically, you couldn't play with your friends. Well,
I did not know that.
Once you enable the beta, which is Trine EE Beta November 2014. Once you enable that beta code, by the way, Osiris has a video on it on how to enable the beta, so go check out his YouTube channel if you're looking for how to do it. Check out his YouTube channel. He's got a video showing. And once you enable the beta, then it'll update your Trine that you've had since Trine was released years ago, whatever. It'll update it to the new, version of Trine, which is now called Enchanted Edition, on your computer, and you'll be able to play, with OS X or Linux users, in multiplayer, in co-op mode. So, definitely worth a buy. Like I said, I don't really know how much it's going for right now.
$14.99.
All right, look at that. Atomic's ready on the ball. $14.99. They probably even have a... Oh, no, it doesn't look like they have a pack right now for sale, combining them both. I think they did during the huge Steam sale, but the Steam sale just ended.
Techie Rod picked it up.
Right, but that was during the sale. The sale ended yesterday.
They do have it. Well, it's not for sale anymore, but it's Trine Complete. Not Complete Edition. I think that's something different. For
the
Trine
complete
2.
story is Trine 2.
Yeah, Trine Complete is Trine 2 Complete Story with Trine Enchanted Edition, currently for $24.99.
All right, gotcha. So you save $5.
Yeah.
If you buy them both at the same time. If you don't own either Trine, I would suggest getting the Trine Complete. It's worth the $25 for both games. Yeah. That's my opinion, for sure.
And if you don't have $25, wait a little bit. There's gonna be a winter sale.
Right. Yeah.
There always is.
And which is interesting because they just had that gigantic, the exploration sale, they called it, whatever. So
yeah, Techie Rod picked up both for about, what was it, $5 or so?
It was crazy, yeah, $7 or $5, yeah. I mean, insane. All right,
all hail Lord Gaben.
Yes,
hail
exactly.
Lord Gaben.
Hail Lord Gaben.
Now we have a cult to add to our resume.
All right.
Let me get my cult robe here real quick.
All right. Moving on to the next topic, we got some pretty big news because I think this is one of the distros that's out there that's really making a run at Ubuntu for one of the most user-friendly and most feature-filled distros available to everybody, and that's Linux Mint. It's been refreshed. We're at version 17.1, codenamed Rebecca, and wow, both Mint Mate as well as Mint Cinnamon both have received significant amounts of updates and changes. Now you have out-of-the-box support for Compiz, which is a compositing manager, which gives you the wobble and the pretty effects on your desktop. You got updates to the update manager, updates to the login screen. You got overall system improvements. You got artwork improvements. And apparently, I guess this is this based on Ubuntu 14.04? So it's an LTS release.
Yes.
Mate Linux Mint is,
Right. So Linux Mint Rebecca is based on 14.04.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So that's another, big thing to point out. 14.10 is out there available in the wild, but I mean, myself, I still have a Xubuntu box or Zubuntu, whatever you want to pronounce it. And I stick with 14.04 just because I always stick with long-term releases, which is the LTS. So 14.04, 12.04, 10.04. I've always stuck with the LTS releases. And, it's just me. It's the way I do it. It's supported for much longer than the regular 6-month release versions. And one thing I've noticed, and Osiris can attest to this, he had upgraded to 14.10 because why not? And realized that there's some software that wasn't quite, available easily in 14.10 yet. So he's come back to 14.04. So sometimes, upgrading to the latest and greatest isn't always the best thing to do. He could have certainly made 14.10 work and compiled the software he needed himself and all that extra work. But, to him, it wasn't worth it. So he just go back to 14.04, boom, he's happy. Right, Osiris?
Hashtag.
I mean, can you speak on that?
Yeah, that's definitely been a problem in Ubuntu for as long as I can remember. Updating to, especially outside of the LTS releases, results in have a lot of even the mainstream. This is not like software that nobody talks about or is obscure. Mainstream software will take a week, sometimes a month, to update their PPAs to the latest Ubuntu release, which is kind of a pain in the butt. And since there's really no huge improvements like there used to be in the incremental releases over the LTS ones, I highly recommend you just stick with Ubuntu's LTS pattern, which is why the side distributions like Linux Mint have chosen to stay with LTS only now also, which is I think is the best thing possible.
Right. I mean, I think one of the reasons that PPAs did arise was because people started realizing that the software packages that Ubuntu is packaging with their distros, they're quite far behind. They're nowhere near the latest and greatest. I mean, you look at FFmpeg that's provided, well, let's, go back before 14.04 and assume that FFmpeg was still in there, the command line tool and the AV libraries and all that. The version of FFmpeg was like 1.2. Well, you look at the FFmpeg website and it's at like 2.4. So Ubuntu they don't always ship the latest and greatest with their ISO or with their versions. So I think that's where they stepped up and they enabled, these PPAs in their core system so that it was easy to add these personal package archives, which allows anybody to host an updated version of a particular piece of software and provide it to your fellow Ubuntu or Debian users or, Debian-based distros. I mean, I think PPAs work in Debian, do they not? I could be wrong, actually.
Yes.
They do work or they don't?
I believe the PPAs were a Debian thing and Ubuntu just carried on with them.
Okay, gotcha.
I think they're inherent to apt-get, actually.
Right. You're probably right. But I guess my point is even though 1404 is an LTS release, so long-term support, you're going to have security updates and security patches and all that for a long time, 5+ years, and it might not run the latest software, but usually there's always a way to get the latest software in a PPA. If it's a popular enough piece of software, there's a PPA for it. I can almost guarantee it. And if there's not, those of you that, have never compiled software, don't be afraid of the command line. It's not hard at all. Configure, make, install, and you got your software installed. It's missing a library. It tells you exactly where it's failing in the compilation or the compiling it. Boom, you just need the dev package of that library, install it, try again. Fails again, get that new library, try again. Oh, it worked, and there you go. You're running the latest version. So, don't be afraid to stay on LTS just because it's not the latest and greatest. Stick with an LTS release, just like Mint has done here, and get your software from a PPA or compile it yourself. That's my opinion.
Or even better, join the Arch Master Race.
Yes, I joined the Arch Master Race probably maybe a month and a half ago or a month. I don't know, and I am just wow. I'm in love with it. I still have. I'm in Arch right now. I am using Arch right now to do the show, and man, its equivalent PPA system, which is called the AUR, is light years ahead of PPAs and personal package archives. My gosh, it is awesome, and it's so simple too. This AUR system is very simple when you look at it at the basics of it. Because all it is, I don't want to get into it. That's a whole nother topic. So that pretty much covers it. Linux Mint releases an updated version, codenamed Rebecca. Go download that ISO and give it a try in a VM. Check it out. It's great software. Have you guys have ran Mint, haven't you?
Yeah, I ran Mint for quite a while, actually.
Me too. Mint, Cinnamon, tried Mate, wasn't my thing. And KDE for a while.
Yeah.
Oh, they updated the artwork? Nice. They even
Not
have
only
a pink theme. I like that.
Yeah, not only did they update the artwork, but according to the change logs, they made it easier for you to change the colors. Because Mint had that like green minty overtone. Even if you changed the theme on it, there was still like a lot of remnants of that mint color everywhere. So according to them, the theming has changed a bit too, so that you can get a uniform color across the operating system.
Good.
Huh. Quite honestly, I think Mint is the absolute best set it and forget it distribution.
Yeah.
They fix all the shortcomings Ubuntu have.
Yeah, I can't really go into that, but I will say I tried Mint once, and I was having an issue with the Ubuntu Software Center or whatever package thing they use. And I went into, the ubuntuforums.org and tried to get help, and instantly, they're like, well, what version are you running? And I was like, I'm running Mint, and they're like, I'm sorry, we don't really support that. So just so you guys are aware, even though Mint is based on Ubuntu, depending on who you're trying to get help from, they may tell you, that they're not going to help you with it because it's not really true Ubuntu. It's similar. It's similar to Manjaro and Antergos with Arch. You go into the Arch IRC channel, the Arch Linux IRC channel, and ask for help. They ask you what you're running. You tell them, and they're like, "Oh, that's not Arch. So sorry, we can't help you."
Just tell them what the equivalent to Ubuntu version is that you're running.
Right. Just lie to them, and then they'll help you.
Yeah. Tell them you're running Ubuntu with the Mate desktop.
Right. Yeah. All right. So moving on to the next topic, we have this is really fascinating news to me, and I don't know why I didn't hear about it sooner. And I got to thank the guys over at the Linux Action Show. I heard about this project through them. It's Librem 15. It's the first high-end, fully open source laptop, and they're doing a crowdsourcing project, Who got rid of my other link? Damn it!
It's me. I'm
Someone got rid of my other. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Damn it, Atomic.
Apologies.
No, it was not there when I looked. Anyway, so this laptop, it's the first. I'd like to share my screen and show you guys it. Let's go ahead and do that because I do want to show you guys. I want to show the stream this. Some great. I mean, this is phenomenal in my opinion, and we're obviously going to talk about it. Here we go. We're going to show you guys this. Where did it go?
He lost it.
Right?
He always loses things. Yeah, you lost.
ABC.
EFG.
All right.
Nothing but a family.
We should have audio for myself as well as my co-host. Anybody in any of the chats, please say yes or no. And I know we'll have to wait 45 seconds at the max to get an answer.
Soup says it's back.
All right. Thank you. So here we go. We have the first open source laptop that's available. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means that the hardware and software on the laptop is all open source. Here's the kicker, though. They're still loading a custom Intel binary blob, which is not open source. So their end goal, their end goal is to get the laptop to boot an open source, BIOS. But they can't get there, without making some progress. So they started a crowdsource, program, and they're, last I looked, they were around $40,000 out of the $250,000 they're trying to raise. And they only have like 16 days left. So it's definitely a huge stretch to accomplish what they're trying to do. This laptop is high quality here. I mean, we're talking aluminum case. We're talking NVIDIA 840. What is it? 840M, I think. I mean, it's got a core. It's got an i7 in it, 8-core i7 in it, a 720p webcam. Yeah.
An 8-core? Are they sure they're not just including hyperthreading?
They probably are.
Yes,
they probably are, but still, I mean, so 8 threads, sorry.
NVIDIA graphics?
Yes, it's got the 840, yes. And here's the other thing. So you're probably saying, Atomic, oh, that's not open source. Well, it is. Nuvo is an open source driver.
Yeah.
Now, you're not going to get the best performance out of your graphics card if you don't use the NVIDIA binary blob, but that's not the point. So everything they're trying to get open source foundation certification. They're trying to, make this the first high quality, high performance, open source laptop to ever be certified by Open Source Foundation.
Did you mention that it was also using Triskel?
I did not yet. I was going to get there. Okay. The operating system it's using is Triskel. Thank you, Osiris.
No problem.
So I mean, this thing is it's a beast of a laptop. I mean, it's got it's got a 1080p display, 15.6 inch. I'm pretty sure it has the, like I said, the NVIDIA 840M. I thought it said it somewhere. I'm not seeing it now for some reason. But I mean, this thing, man, it just looks solid. And knowing that it's an aluminum case as well. I mean, so basically they're going to try to get the open source foundation certification, by basically saying that you can use this fully open source using the Intel graphics. Because, when you have these hybrid graphic systems in Linux, it's come a long way from when, people first had laptops with dual graphics in them, or hybrid graphics they call it, where the switching was a total pain in the ass, and people just had nothing but problems. But the way that they're doing it, it's going to be intelligent enough to use your Intel graphics card, your Intel iGPU, when you're just doing 2D low-grade stuff. Well, you fire up a 3D graphically intense game or something, it's going to intelligently switch to the NVIDIA 840M. So at that point, now and then like Atomic pointed out, if you really want the best performance out of that 840M, you're installing the NVIDIA binary for sure. And there you lose, you're not using open source anymore. But still, I think this is an awesome project. I backed it. It's only, $5 is the minimum backing, so I backed it because I believe in this. I believe in what they're trying to bring to the market. And if they can get it there, I think it'd be a huge jump for just Linux, and in my opinion, Linux gaming hardware. I think it would be huge, and then eventually, if they can write their own open source BIOS for the firmware that's on the motherboard, man, that would be awesome. Then it would be Richard Stallman approved, fully open source, device. You guys have anything to add?
I just wanted to verify that I went to the crowdsourcing site, and it is indeed the GT840M.
Yep.
But I do think that that's an entry-level GPU, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of low.
So you might be okay sticking with the open source drivers, because you might not be getting much more out of the proprietary.
Actually, I
driver.
think,
Oh, really?
wouldn't that be not much more powerful than the
I would say
Intel?
the 840's got to be more powerful. With the binary blob, is more powerful than an Intel HD 4600. I'm going to be making a video comparing open source drivers for Intel and NVIDIA shortly here. So I want to do all the benchmarks using my HD 4600, the open source Intel driver, and then also compare it against Nouveau. Because Nouveau has come a long way from where it was originally. You know what I mean? It's
definitely better than the Intel, but it's not like you're gonna be playing Last Light on it at all.
Well, of course not.
Probably.
Right.
So what I'm saying
it is a laptop.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying is that you might not need the proprietary drivers for this, because what you're going to be playing on this wouldn't justify it.
Okay, for those people that are strict open sourcers, I see what you're getting at. Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, there you go, guys. If you're interested in backing this, it's it's the Purism is the company, and it's the Librem 15. You can find them the crowdsourcing is on crowdsupply.com. There you go. They've raised $41,000 out of their $250,000, and so there's 28 days left. They've only reached 16%, so I don't know how much of a bump they're going to see with that, especially around the holidays right now.
Right.
Not a lot of people are probably going to have money to throw at this, but
my thoughts on this is that, of course, this is a good idea, but I think I've seen a lot of open source projects, quite a few, and I think for some of these open source projects to get the recognition that they deserve and the funding that they deserve is that there needs to be more open source in education and stuff like that. Because if you tell somebody, an average person, it's open source, therefore it's better for you, they don't really know what that means. So why would the average consumer think that this is better for them? Right. I think they deserve more money than they're getting right now. They should have more money than they're getting. But why does the average consumer know that?
Right. I hear what you're saying. Yep. I mean, the advantage, just to let our viewers know, the advantage to having, open source hardware and open source everything is that the code is openly available to you. So, if there's some improvements you want to make to it, or there's a bug or something, and you're smart enough, or, the community basically will make this thing thrive. That's the pure advantage of open source. Anybody can make it better. Whereas now, you go and you buy a MacBook Pro and it's got your nice aluminum case, whatever, and but something's wrong with it. Guess what? You got to wait for Mac to fix it, or Apple to fix it, or whatever software developer released that code. You have to wait for them to fix it. Your hands are tied. The source code is not available.
Not only that, there's also the political reasons behind it. You don't want a big company running the world type stuff. Security reasons.
Yes.
So we don't know this. This is all pointing fingers, but there was that thing where everybody's like, Microsoft was letting the NSA in the back doors.
Right. This has no back doors on it. Yep.
You can if you think there's a back door, go open up the source code and look for yourself. Or there's
right,
I think there's foundations out there that actually do that for you also.
Yep. Well, that's the whole reason of getting certified by the actual open source the actual foundation. If you're open source foundation certified, they've reviewed your product and it's completely open source. So there you go, guys. Check out the Librem 15. Awesome piece of hardware. It is, I would say, it is on the higher side as far as the amount of money it is. If you compare it to current laptop hardware that's out there with an 840M in it, but you got to remember, this is a startup company that are trying to do something huge right now. So they need to have a minimum order with the motherboard manufacturer. Basically, if you're interested in learning more about it, I would suggest going and watching the episode of the Linux Action Show where they actually interviewed the guy. They interviewed the person who founded the Purism and Librem 15 project, and there's a lot of awesome answers in there. He has an answer which and it's not just a BS answer. He touches on the whole BIOS being binary blob still, and touches on the open source foundation certification. A lot of questions that maybe you as viewers would have. So yeah.
Do you know what motherboard's in here? Because I don't see it mentioned.
No, I do not know what motherboard. I know it's a custom motherboard, though.
Every laptop motherboard is a custom motherboard.
Okay, well, there you go.
Because the two biggest motherboard manufacturers obviously are Gigabyte and Asus, and I'm wondering if it's either one of these. Just out of curiosity.
I don't see why it wouldn't be if you just said they're the two big. Oh, there's other ones, though, you're saying?
Yeah, of course. You can get different motherboards. They just happen to be the two most popular amongst OEMs.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I don't know who he specifically talked to or what motherboard company he's in talks with, but I know their end goal is to even get, the BIOS open sourced. Because right now it loads some Intel FP file that's closed source, basically, for the BIOS.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool, story and project. I mean, like I said, I backed it. It's really easy to back it. $5. It's really, you won't even miss it. It's your lunch for the day at McDonald's, whatever. Don't have McDonald's that day.
Don't have McDonald's any day.
Go and back it, guys.
Yeah, I was gonna say McDonald's is probably not where you should be spending your money, anyways.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right, that's the Librem 15. Librem 15.
The link for our next topic is corrupted, but
that corruption.
Yes, it says invalid link.
All right. That must have been created by Osiris.
You.
Then. No. Osiris only makes the best links.
All right. Well, go ahead and cover. Can you guys cover it?
Sure.
Thank you.
GOG, or Good Old Games, is a DRM-free store, and they recently added Linux support for quite a number of their titles, and that count is now up to 153 games.
Oh snap!
Yes.
Nice.
I'm looking at the list of their Linux games through their filter. First of all, I have to say that the website is very well done. I like it, and it's clear and precise and tells you what you need to know.
Are you guys monitoring the chats everywhere?
I
Yes.
am.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. All right.
And they have the staple Linux games and, of course, the good old Linux games or games
And
that
we
can be
mean
used.
old.
Yes, old. I mean, like probably older than half our audience.
Yes. They have games from the early 90s if you look hard enough. Though not all of
Nice.
them are on Linux.
Nice.
I see some notable ones that I would take a. But man, like okay, Baldur's Gate, which is I think, if you're old enough, is a staple PC game. Like if you're old enough to remember, you played it. You probably more than likely played this game on PC. And it's $10 though. I mean, that's not a significant amount of money, but wow, it better be good, and it better be a damn good port for $10. It better work. Not none of that half-ass shit. But I see some good old games on here, like Baldur's Gate. Brutal Legend's not that old. It's gonna be. I think that could still be gotten on Steam. Let's look at the really old ones. Oh, of course, Duke Nukem. Gotta have that Duke Nukem. They gave it away for free, didn't they? Well, I got it for free. I don't know how I got it. So many games. Icewind Dale is another one, which is another Dungeons and Dragons realm type game. But you should definitely check it out. It's GOG.com. And then use
Yeah,
the
I'm showing the
filter.
stream. I'm showing the stream the website, or and I use the filter, Linux, whatever.
Right. Isn't it pretty well done? Or
I
am
think
just-
so. Yeah.
Yeah, I like
mean,
this.
It's pretty clean.
thing.
It's not overly cluttered, whatever. I mean, five rows across for games and columns. Excuse me, 5 columns across. So they got Don't Starve for $15. I wonder how that compares to the Steams. So the point of this website, I don't know if we touched on it, is that these are supposedly DRM free.
Yes.
So that means it's not tied to any digital rights management system.
Yes.
If that's a big deal to anybody. It's the same price. Don't Starve is the same price on Steam. So yesterday, Osiris, weren't we looking at like Aspyr Media? Oh no, I'm sorry, never mind. That we're gonna touch that topic later.
Right.
So yeah, GOG, man, 150 plus Linux games.
So I went through all 4 pages. There doesn't seem to be a lot of actual good old games on here. A lot of these games are relatively recent. So
For
I'm hoping
Linux,
that
right? You're looking at
relatively
Linux, yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at Linux only. Yeah, they on their main site they have a lot of old games, but I just thought it was kind of odd that there's not a lot of old games on here, because I think the old games, whether they're on Linux or on Windows, is using the
DOSBox.
DOSBox. There you go. And doesn't DOSBox work relatively well on Linux?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
I would expect any DOSBox game to just be runnable in Linux. The same issue comes up on Steam, though, because there are a few games that run in DOSBox. For example, the original Tomb Raider. I have that, and it runs in DOSBox, but they don't have it available for Linux or Mac.
I wonder if they're actually going through and testing them first, which would be great on them. If they're doing that to guarantee a working title, that'd be awesome. If they're actually doing it one by one,
Yeah, that would be nice.
instead of shoveling it out just for the extra monies.
Yeah. I definitely couldn't see them rewriting some of these games. Sanitarium is just not going to be updated for Linux support.
Right.
and any of its ilk. I wish
Right.
I would fix up Siberia though. That would be nice.
I should, you know what? I should probably have bookmarked this because they do have some games on here I don't think that are on Steam at all. And
Yeah.
if I check my library, I have probably about 10 games I gotten from them for free. They give out quite a few free games too. I don't know
Right.
if it's worth. Some people might not think they're worth it, but you get the what was it, Duke 3D something edition, just for signing up, or at least I did. I don't know, but yeah, check them out. It's worth it, especially if you don't like DRM. You're all like, Steam's gonna take over the world. Oh no,
Colonization? What? I see that on the stream.
colonization.
Colonization.
What does that mean? In reference to?
That is a game.
Oh, oh, yeah, they do have the Witcher series. If you guys didn't know, the reason they have the Witcher series, which is obviously a big AAA title, is because the owners of GOG are the owners of the Witcher
Yes, that is
company.
CD Projekt Red.
Right, right. So, yes, they do have the Witcher because they own the Witcher. I see they have Wasteland too. I don't know if you can. I don't know if that's really considered a AAA title. I don't want to get into the politics of what a AAA title is, but it's a big name title, so to say, for PC gamers, and they have that on Linux also. They have some pretty well-known indie games like Mark of the Ninja, Papers, Please, Faster Than Light, that nature of stuff. I thought I saw what's that horror game? Machine of Pigs or something like that.
Um,
Of course, I can't find
Amnesia.
it. Yeah. Amnesia. There you go. Sir, You Will Be Haunted. Democracy 3. Then the Don't Starve DLC.
Sir,
Broken
You
It.
Are Being Hunted is hilarious.
You played that one?
I have that one, and I have played it. And I played it back when it was in alpha. Early alpha. And it wasn't bad.
That game keeps crossing my radar.
I've heard horrible things about it.
What?
Yes, the Linux
Fuck you.
Gamecast like really just ripped on it bad.
Oh, well, Linux Gamecast. If they don't like the game, they'll rip on it.
Right, that's true.
If they like the game, they'll rip on it.
That does happen. Yeah, this game crossed my radar quite a few times, and I've just never gotten around to it because I didn't know how good it is, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. I actually need to go and play it again because I haven't played it much since it came out of alpha. And I think it went out of beta and now it's into a full release, but still getting content updates. It was kind of basic and looked it when it was in alpha, but it was still kind of fun to play.
Why does YouTube suck so much?
Because YouTube.
I can't even post to YouTube like half the time I type stuff in. But yeah, I highly support GOG.com, and guys should check it out. Even if you're a Windows user, go check them out because they have games that you might not even find anywhere else. Especially if you're all nostalgic and you're like, oh man, I remember the good old days of PC gaming, like the old Star Wars or Return to Zork or Myst, and you're like, I gotta play those things and show my kids how old I am. So that's the place that's where you go to buy things like that.
Yep.
So our next topic is Debian is being forked.
Huh? Not Debian.
Devuan.
Yeah.
Devuan.
Devuan.
I don't know how you pronounce it, but holy cow, is that
I
that's
think
news. That is Linux news.
Yeah, I think
In
it's
my
that latter
opinion.
pronunciation because they have a play on
Wow.
words here in the article.
Devuan. I get it. It's not fun. It's not that funny. They suck. Is that serious? Is that something that they were really
Yes.
going for?
Yes, and they have funding too. They have funding for the fork. It's happening.
What?
Yep.
No. Not Debian. It's like
Yeah.
Debian to me in the Linux world, I see them as the like the grandmother. Like you
Right.
expect to be
Yep.
rock solid and they're
Yeah.
never gonna change nothing.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
I think this comes about because Debian decided to go with System D, didn't it?
Yes,
They
that's
did.
one reason, but it's a lot of reasons actually.
Yeah,
Probably a
It's not
snowball
just the
effect.
System D.
System D can be a lot of reasons.
Right.
It
No,
really
I think
can.
there's a lot of probably mailing lists that you'd have to read to figure out the true reason. But from what I've heard, the developers that are leaving Debian and forking it to Devuan, they were done with Debian already before this whole System D thing. I guess they just their heads were not there and for whatever reason, and this was kind of like the last hair that broke the camel's straw that broke the camel's back, whatever. So that's it, they're done, and now you have Devuan or Dev1 basically. It is like Osiris just pointed out. You hear for those of you that aren't really familiar with Linux, Debian is like one of the core first Linux distributions, out there, basically. Almost, when you hear us talk and say a distro is Debian based, that's because it's Debian based, meaning the core of it, the core parts of it are based off of Debian. Like it was taken from Debian and then kind of added, changed, or modified, and now it's called Ubuntu. So Ubuntu is a downstream distribution from Debian, meaning if Debian makes a change, most likely that change will make it into Ubuntu. Not necessarily, because Ubuntu can do their own thing, but the less work that Debian or Ubuntu has to do, with their changes and whatnot, that's better for them because it's less work they have to do. So that's why Ubuntu is now stated they're switching to System D. So I mean, this is a huge, circle. Basically, everything's tied together.
I would relate it like this to normal people. It'd be like your grandmother and grandfather breaking up after 60 years. That's how I see it.
Right?
It's just not something that you expect to happen. And obviously, like you said, this is something that's probably been brewing behind the scenes for who knows how long. But not that I welcome change, because these are probably very qualified people who know what the hell they're talking about. And if they're going to make a new thing, who knows? It might push forward Linux even further.
Yep. I mean, I personally don't have an issue with this. If they didn't feel they were able to accomplish what they wanted to within, staying with Debian and developing in Debian, then so be it. They're going to create Devuan, and they're going to do their own thing. They're going to do what they want to do and get shit done. They're going to accomplish stuff. So I have no problem with this fork. I mean, people complain sometimes that there's just too many forks and too many changes, and yes, that is an argument to a certain degree, but you can't just a monolithic community or just one thing, one size fits all doesn't work. I think we've seen that in just society. That's just my opinion. So I don't know. I mean, I
If you
think
want
it's
one size fits all, there's always the other
Windows.
guys. I
Right,
wasn't gonna say any
exactly, right?
names, but you're all like calling people out. So
right. Right.
They have a fundraiser on their homepage too, debianfork.org/donate. Looks like they're making their way through the the donating process. But here's my question. So obviously Debian is considered one of the mainline Linux distributions like Arch and Red Hat or whatever. And so what is Dev1 going to be another mainline? Like how's that going to work? Are they going to be a spin-off of Debian? That making Debian an upstream to them? Do you know this?
I do not know this. I believe Devuan will be downstream of Debian. So they're gonna take. Well, no, because Debian will switch to System D. So no, this is a completely new line. If that's what you're thinking, people will be able to take Devuan and say add Mint to it. I'm sorry, Cinnamon or whatever to it, and now it's called cool new Linux. You know what I mean? It's gonna be totally different.
I'm reading their homepage, and this is quote verbatim from their page. Dev1 be a base distribution whose mission is to protect the freedom of its community users and developers. So basically, they're another base. That we're adding a base distribution to the Linux community, which is not something that happens all the time. That's a very rare thing. So that's kind of cool. I'm interested in seeing how that works.
This is huge. This is big Linux news. Yep, definitely. I mean, if I could bring up here, let me bring up on the web page or on the website. The stream is watching this. Here's an image. Like, this is ridiculous. But if we zoom in and look at the core, look at all these distros. This is crazy, guys. If we zoom in and look for the core systems, look at this. Look at Debian over here, guys. See this? The stream should be able to see this, I hope. Yeah, they can. So right here is Debian. See it all the way on the left? Look at all these operating systems that are based on Debian, you guys.
That is ridiculous.
Yes. These are all distributions that are available to anyone. So then you scroll down and you see, then you have, what's this other one? This other one is Slackware. So Slackware is another base distribution. Then you scroll down and we should see, here's Red Hat. So pretty much anything Red Hat based. I guess there's only two main trees according to this wiki. I don't know how accurate this is. There's a Slackware tree and a Debian tree. I mean,
a Slackware tree and a Debian tree.
According to this, yeah, there's Slackware-based distros and there's Debian-based distros. According to this wiki. I'm not saying this is the gospel, this is everything. I'm just saying, according to what I just clicked on.
What's the name of that page? I'm interested in seeing that.
It's Linux Distribution Timeline. Well, let me go back. Linux distributions. Yep, list of Linux distributions on Wikipedia.
All right,
so many of these sub-distributions are dead.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Wow,
and actually,
now
that I clicked back on the main site, old official third party, yeah, it kind of makes it seem like we have RPM based, we have Pac-Man based, Gentoo based, and Debian based, and then Slackware based. So I guess there's 5 core OSs according to the Wikipedia. And I just said them. Debian, Gentoo, Pac-Man, RPM, and Slackware. So now you're going to see Devuan. Devuan will be, number basically 6. And anybody can choose to start with Devuan and make a new distro, basically. It'll be Devuan based. So to those of you that don't use Linux, this might all seem really weird. You don't really get it. It's just different flavors, the way the desktop looks. But, when you really down at the core of the Linux operating system, each one of these uses the same kernel, the Linux kernel, which
each have different purposes.
Yeah.
Much like Windows I don't know if they still do it in 8, but like in 7, you had obviously Windows Server, then trunked out Windows 7, Pro, Home,
Ultimate,
Enterprise,
yeah,
Ultimate,
right.
Except there's also an embedded version. So these all serve different purposes for different people and different organizations.
Right.
More or less.
Mostly in the corporate world, you'll see RPM based distributions. Like
Yes.
Red Hat, they got the corporate environment nailed down pretty well. There's even Red Hat certifications, basically, if you want to work in Linux, in the field. So yeah. What is CentOS? CentOS is Red Hat based. Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
There you go. So yeah, Devuan is a thing, and it's huge Linux news. I definitely wanted to share it with everybody. We wanted to share it with everybody. So, if you're new to Linux and you're checking it out, hopefully we just gave you a little bit of education on the base systems basically, and you can look into it from there basically with what we just shared with you guys. All right.
The next topic is Steam joins the live streaming scene. So
There you
now
Competition.
we have Steam Broadcasting, which is a way that you can stream your games directly from the Steam client.
Oh shit.
Somebody better tell Twitch.
Uh-oh. There's a fight about to break out.
Right?
I'm gonna go ahead and just state this real quick. Every few months we see Steam drop like a monster of a feature.
Oh, yeah.
If this isn't enough proof that Valve is dedicated to completing and rounding out the Steam OS, I don't know what is, because I don't really see a point, no other reason.
Yeah.
For all the features that they've added in the last year or two, there would be no point unless Steam OS was a thing to them.
Yeah.
Because some people are already saying Steam OS is dead before it was even born.
Right. Yep. I agree wholeheartedly with what Osiris just said. I mean, this may not seem like a gigantic feature, but I'll be honest. I mean, this puts it right on the same level as Xbox One streaming and PS4 streaming. And, I guarantee that Steam didn't all of a sudden just come along and say, oh, wow, look at the Xbox One and PS4 can share instantly. We better get on this. No, they've been working on this, I'm sure, because they've already had their in-home streaming where you can have a way lesser powered machine at another TV in your home, like your family room, and you can game, which is actually just streaming from your main gaming rig that's in another room. So, for them to implement this Steam broadcasting, I don't think was too far off of what they already do with their Steam in-home streaming. I mean, all it's doing is broadcasting a H.264 video feed, video file, a streaming video file, like what we're doing right now. I'm using, video capture software and streaming to a, RTMP server, which is Twitch, YouTube, and Hitbox. So for Steam to do this, I think is great. It's going to allow you to view, like, if there's a particular game that you're not familiar with and you don't want to just watch the videos on Steam through the store and you want to get a better idea of what it looks like, maybe I can see you being able to just go and look for a game and see someone playing it live right then and there. I could see that being a thing. Now, the bad part about the thing that we should probably mention is that unfortunately this is only available currently for Windows users right now. But,
small note on that. Linux users can view games, cannot stream games yet.
Okay. So I can go in my Steam library right now and view someone that was doing broadcasting, you're saying?
If you have the beta client.
If I had the beta client.
You have to have the beta client, and according to our friend Glog, something about it'll launch Chrome or something. I don't know. He showed me a screenshot where it was working for him. And I was like, wait. How the hell did you do that? Because he makes things happen magically. And Glog.
Oh, yeah.
Magical Glog, the Linux wizard.
Yes,
Yeah.
he is the Linux wizard, right?
So I was like, hold up. What kind of magic did you perform on this thing right here? He's like something about Chrome, or you'd have to talk to him. But apparently, we can look at games. We just can't stream games.
Awesome.
So, according to Steam, the OS X and the Linux betas will be out soon enough. I guess I don't know what that means, but that's what they say. So we can expect it to happen.
Right. I mean, this is pretty big news. I mean, gone are the days of people like me and Atomic streams. Osiris has streamed. I mean, each one of us has streamed our gaming sessions, and I mean, the amount of effort that is required to do a live stream, and do it decently and have viewers, it takes a lot of effort. I will be honest, to do it right. And this Steam is pretty much, making it so any average Joe can all of a sudden become a Twitch streamer, basically.
I think Raptor and Shadowplay attempt to make that process much easier, but it's still kind of finicky a little bit.
Flaky,
and I think
yeah.
have it all
in one service.
in Steam,
yep.
And Valve supporting it, because there's very few Valve products that don't work. Like, just excellent. Like, it just works so good. There is nothing you can complain about except for buying too much hats. Other than that, there's nothing on Valve that I can complain about. And if they made this a thing, which means they'd probably been working on this for, like you said, numbers of years.
Right. Yeah.
You do not have nearly enough hats. That is all there is to it.
I want hats on my hats with a TF2 player on my hat, then another hat on him.
We're going to get into exhibit territory here very quickly.
Yo, dog, I heard you like hats.
I mean, you can make it so that you actually are only streaming to your friends, or you can make it so you're streaming to all of Steam and anybody, can see your stream in a Steam hub. I mean, I'd be interested to find out what the bitrate settings are and what the quality of the stream is. So I can't wait to try this out.
I read somewhere it's pretty compressed, but there might be a setting, and I don't want to say that as fact because, of course, I won't be able to find it again.
Right. It says here, how do I change the bitrate, video dimensions, microphone, and desktop settings? For advanced broadcast settings, access the Steam client's settings panel and select the broadcast tab. So there you go. It's as simple as going into the settings, but obviously I don't have the beta enabled. I don't want to enable the beta. I don't want to mess up my Steam client right now. Things are running smoothly for me for Steam, so plus it wouldn't even show anyway because this isn't Windows. Yeah. Brah, I don't run Windows, brah. This is Arch.
You liar.
Yes, I do lie. I have Windows. I have the ability to boot Windows, but have I in a long time? No.
Just so people are clear, this is not broadcasting in the sense of broadcasting for pure like entertainment to like Twitch wants you to do. This is more so targeted for you and your friends. The way it's set up, it works great for you. Your friend is playing a game, and you're like, oh, I wonder what my friend is doing. Bam, watch game. And it automatically just makes you watch his game. You can broadcast, and it will put in what is called a game hub that will be a menu somewhere on your Steam client.
Right.
And then you can go to the game hub, probably which it's probably similar to your community thingy. I can't think of the name.
It says here, how do I get my broadcast to show up in the game hub? You just select anyone can watch my game as your broadcast privacy setting.
Right. And all
yeah.
this is self-contained inside the Valve ecosphere.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't think this will be as big as Twitch still.
No, definitely. And you can't even save your broadcast. Like if you wanted to edit it and put it up on YouTube later. No, your broadcasts are live only, and as soon as you stop, it's gone. The file's gone.
But
go ahead.
The cool feature about this is, so damn, I forgot what my Shockwave flash crashed, and then I had a crash. That was weird.
All right, reboot Osiris. Hit the reset button. We need to reboot Osiris. He just
Enable
crashed.
turbo mode.
Did you just blue
And then
screen
we'll
to death or what? Or
yeah,
no, you had
that's
a
not
kernel
even-
panic. You had a
I
kernel
was gonna.
panic.
I can't believe you just said that. Blue screen. Of course it is.
Heretic.
These things do not happen.
Right?
Uh,
We don't have blue screens of death in Linux. What are you talking about?
We have text screens of death.
Yeah,
Tech.
right.
yeah, like blinking curses is a thing. I mean,
Yeah.
at least you can still fix things though.
Right.
That's better than my computer telling me, "Hey, dog, yo, this shit's fucked up. I'm out."
Yeah. Support
Computer
for
just leaves.
support for Linux, OS X, and Vista. Really? Someone is still creating stuff for Windows Vista? God, I feel
Why?
sorry for Valve. They got to make this
'cause
stuff
it's still
work
like
on Vista.
It's still a
Jeez.
supported operating system.
Apparently, it works in the Steam client, Google Chrome, as well as Safari. So no Firefox support, yo.
Lies.
Wow, that's pretty
it-
big news.
It does not work in Vista. Nothing works in Vista.
Vista doesn't work in Vista.
Vista doesn't work in Vista, right?
Vista's whack.
Exactly.
All right, we got to get moving along on the topics. How many we got?
Overtime.
We got quite a few left. Yeah, it's 8:20. We've been an hour and 20 minutes now on the show. So our next topic, actually, Osiris is going to cover this. You've been kind of quiet today.
What am I? Oh yeah. I'm back here. Officially as Linux. Okay, Aspyr, the people who ported. Oh my God. Ported Borderlands 2 and Borderlands the pre-sequel to the Linux and OS X. Have an official Linux store for you to go buy your stuff directly for them and support them 100% with all your monies. You don't have to go through Steam. You don't have to go through whatever extra retailer, and which I'm sure they get a cut, and somebody else gets a cut, then somebody else gets a cut, then 2K gets a cut, then this other person.
Right, and then finally Aspyr gets their cut.
Yeah, and then they get their 15 cents of their
Right.
Timmy money. So yeah, if you like Linux and you want to support directly the people who bring you the games that you like on your platform of choice, I would say go directly to those developers and pay them directly. Make them have the money that they deserve. And they created a Linux, I guess, specific site, which would be gameagent.com/Linux_games, where you can buy your stuff directly from them and make sure that they get the money that you feel they deserve.
Yep, this is where I bought the pre-sequel from. Definitely. I did a video on Game Agent. Great website. I had no problems purchasing the game, you know.
By the way, they also ported Civilization 5 and
Right, I'm showing the
Civilization
stream.
Beyond Earth.
Yeah, I have this the page up right now. I'm showing the stream.
And
So
I
they
can
got
say
all, yep, they got Sid Meier's Civilization, Geometry Wars 3, Borderlands 2, all the DLC and everything. They got
When are they going to port Borderlands 1?
Sid Meier's Civilization 5. Yeah, I know,
Good
right?
question. That would be awesome.
Well, you said it works in wine. I mean, I know that's not the answer, but you did say it
Kinda,
worked
sort
in
of. The
wine.
last time I tried to run it, crashed.
Mine has been janky lately, to be honest with you.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
On a
I know.
why,
number of my games.
that's why you use Play on Linux, and you can use the previous wine version.
No, wine just in general has been, I don't know what's going on. Like that something changed that interacts with the kernel. I don't know.
Right, so I'm saying go back to the older wine version.
It's not a matter of older
it's
wine
not,
versions.
It's not versions. It's just wine in general. It has
Yeah,
not been working.
all versions.
Well, then you switch your kernel. You must have upgraded your kernel then.
No,
I mean, I'm just saying there's always a way to go back, is what I'm trying to get at.
Me and Atomic have both experienced. Like I haven't updated anything because I don't get major kernel updates, obviously. And this has been
Yes,
happening.
Ubuntu gets updates. What do you mean? You're still on
didn't say that.
kernel 3.13, but it still
I didn't
updates
say
the kernel.
I didn't say that. I said I don't get major kernel updates.
Okay.
And this has been persisting, not just through kernel or wine versions. Something has happened that's probably a kernel thing, more than likely. I don't know, or how wine interacts with the kernel.
Okay,
Or even
sure.
maybe the know what? Actually, know what?
It's
I
related
think
to
it might be the
graphics.
graphics.
There-
The graphics.
Yep.
Because I've been getting weird shading problems, not drawing shadows,
Yeah.
performance issues, and
You're
wine-
running which NVIDIA driver are you using? Because I know Atomic upgraded to 346.16.
Yeah.
Yep, that would be why.
What's been going on longer than that?
340.
Okay, you're on 340. All right.
I've had graphical corruption since 340, so
Might be 340
in
and
wine.
up.
Yeah, could be. Definitely.
Well,
So-
they? That's funny. Didn't one of the
We
updates say
covered-
that they fixed wine version?
Yes,
Or
we covered a wine update in like 2 episodes ago.
Far Cry 3 was one of the
Yeah.
things NVIDIA claimed that they fixed
Yeah.
in wine. Which
Yeah.
that's still weird to me. Why does NVIDIA care about Far Cry 3 running in wine? I sent
I didn't
some.
know that's Maybe
Yeah,
they're getting some monies.
Yeah, I sent some type of backdoor dealing going on.
Yeah, it occurs everywhere. I'm sure it is.
But anyhow,
So-
yeah.
So check
Yeah.
out, GameAgent.com. Awesome website. Like he said, if you want to support your developer, the game developer, directly, and you don't want to give Steam a cut and everybody else a cut, there you go. GameAgent.com. They get all the Aspyr Media gets all the monies from the sale of the game, and that would be the best way to purchase any one of these games that you're looking for. I mean, if you're all about supporting the developer fully, obviously, the pre-sequel is here for $59.99. If you look in Steam and we see how much it is, now that the sale's done, it's probably the same price, but you're not going to probably ever see this on sale here. You might. I shouldn't say that. I don't know for sure. Well, I guess I will point out, when I did buy the pre-sequel from Game Agent, I got 20% off the game. So I don't want to make that global statement and say that, they're always going to be full price games here. They
Probably less frequent.
Just less frequent, right? Yeah, because I mean, you got to remember, guys, they can't just make us games for free.
What?
Yeah, exactly, right?
what is this
Games aren't
madness
free.
you speak?
What is this monies that you speak of? Right.
Let's just be honest. We've been paying $50 for games since like 20 years ago, at least.
Yes.
Who's we?
What? So you're telling me you didn't play on Nintendo or Sega or Nintendo 64?
After the fact, I bought my Sega Genesis in like 2003 when I was
What the
doing a big
hell?
console collection.
No, man. Okay, so
Yeah.
I've been playing all of the everythings since they were out.
Right.
And
Yep,
my
me
point
too.
is the games have always been $50 until very recently. So
Yeah. Right.
yeah, so I mean, what they're charging and asking is not outrageous.
Right.
If you-
Exactly. Yep. That's what I would say as well.
I bought a few games at retail prices.
Air quotes for anybody on the Audible podcast.
Yes. And back like at the turn of the century.
the turn
But it
of the
was
century.
the turn of the century, way back when.
way back when. That's interesting choice of words. Go
But
ahead.
there were games that were 2, 3, 4 years old already. PC games out of the bargain bin at the local office supply store. And that's probably the most I've ever paid for a game other than the pre-sequel. That's one I did pay full price for. But my average price since I've gotten into Steam is $3.14 per game.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm definitely talking like 80s into the 90s type stuff. And plus, you can't wait back then. Like, first of all, you got to imagine you're talking about an 8-year-old or so, 9, 10, somewhere in that area. You can't wait for the Mario Brothers to be on
go on
sale.
sale. Right,
6
yeah,
months
yeah. When
later.
you're a kid,
Well,
yeah,
while
you
all
don't-
your friends are at school, it's like, man, did you get the level 3 on Super Mario Brothers? It was so freaking super awesome. Oh my god! And you're like, oh,
Right. Right.
So you sit there and you beg and you cut grass and you babysit or whatever it is that you do, and you pay the $49.99 happily plus
Yep,
tax.
Exactly.
Mommy, buy me a Nintendo. Fuck no. I got jewelry to buy. Fuck yourself.
Yeah, right.
Well,
All right. Moving along, we got the Steam hardware survey for 2014. What are we looking at here for results? Let's see.
Probably the
much.
same as it was.
yeah, not much changed here. I thought it would just be worth saying, hey, The new results are up. But the only thing that really changed was the Ubuntu people moved from what was it, 12.10 to 30. Wait, what the hell am I? Nothing will load, and I don't know what's going on.
Wait, my Steam isn't loading either. Steam's down right now.
No.
Yep, my Steam client wasn't loading, and now we can't even get to the Steam website. Yep, it's down.
Why did you break
Isn't that
it?
a shame? Like, I thought it was my network, and I was like, wait, but I'm still streaming, so it can't be my network.
Yes, it can.
I can't get in here.
Yes, it can.
I don't control Steam, Atomic, sorry. Steam
So
is not
apparently-
powered at my house.
Yes, it is. Everyone, he's got a shit
I
ton
got
of servers
Gaben,
in
I
his
got
basement.
Gaben in the back over here. Right.
Yeah, he's... the entire Valve office is down in his basement.
Yeah, right.
It must smell horrendous.
Yeah, right? Oh, man, all the neck beards everywhere. Sweaty neck
All the
beards like
neck
this.
beards.
Yeah, sweaty neck beards like
I hope you bathe them.
every once in a while.
Bathe? He doesn't bathe. You think he's gonna bathe anybody else?
Right? This shirt still hasn't hit the washing machine. I had this on last show. Why would I wash it? It's not dirty. I just sit in this chair. I don't run around or, re-roof houses in it.
He's been wearing that shirt since he got it
By the way,
last year.
ubuthetechguru.spreadshirt.com. You too can have
Shameless
some
plug.
Ubu gear. I got coffee cups there, coffee mugs. I got phone cases, shirts, winter caps, with Ubu out. I'll smell you when I smell you. Just get that Ubu gear. Everybody's dying for it, especially with Christmas right around the corner. You know that you want to provide some Ubu gear as a gift.
I will.
Yeah, go buy him some Ubu gear so that he can afford to buy himself more than one shirt.
I sell the world's best drugs. Just email me at nsa at gov.com and I'll get you your stuff.
What? Somebody put this in the chat or what?
No, I'm just saying.
Oh, yours? Oh, okay, gotcha. All right. All right, so we're not covering that topic, guys. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Steam
So
is
basically,
down.
the rundown is nothing much changed for in the Linux world or the Windows world or anybody's world except for the guys that were on Ubuntu 14.04 went to Ubuntu 14.10. So there was a slight change there. Good on y'all. Bye.
All right, so that's that topic. Looks like we got one more topic to cover here, and it's our main man, Atomic. What do you got, Atomic? Or was
I've
this
got-
Osiris's?
Oh, this is something that we should not talk about because it's not right. I was bamboozled. I was lied to.
All right. So we're not going to cover this last topic here. Sorry about that, everybody. But there is one other topic I thought would be worth mentioning, and it is that AMD. This is kind of older news, but I still thought I'd share it with you guys. AMD open source drivers added support for fan control. Holy shit, they're entering the 21st century.
What? Wait, what?
Yeah, did you know this? The open source AMD driver, it has fan support, better fan control now.
Oh yeah, that was a yeah.
It was.
that a
I mean, it was.
broken thing.
Well, it was back in November 19th. But I don't know if we shared the news with the stream that an AMD employee, Alex Duscher. I don't even know if that's how you say his name. Duscher. He's a doucher. He's always fresh and clean smelling.
What a
Anyway,
name.
from AMD, he put out new Radeon DPM patches that add the SMC fan controller support for SI and CI GPUs. So it's going, the new patches should reduce the graphic card's fan noise on systems that have higher default fan profile speeds. So that's, a thing, and that's interesting because, NVIDIA recently... Well, no, NVIDIA had the support for controlling the fan, right? They actually just recently added the ability to overvolt your cards now. So basically,
yeah.
the overall message that I take from this is, they're finally these GPU manufacturers and providers are finally listening to us Linux gamers, when we tell them what we want in hardware and what we want to be able to do with it. I mean, come on, just now, November of 2014, you can adjust the speed of your AMD GPU that you paid $700 for.
Don't let me start that rant again.
Yeah, exactly. Let's not even go there, I guess. But I just thought I'd share it with everybody. So that pretty much, covers the show for episode 15. We do, just to let everybody know, we have a lot going on in the background with possible new website coming up. Well, Osiris has already been tweeting it, even though we didn't announce that we're live yet. So we're not officially live with the new website, but it is out there if you're savvy enough, linuxtechandgaming.com. And you can probably find it if you do some tough Google searching. You'll see what we got so far. But we're, populating with content, getting our video podcast archives up there. Osiris has been painstakingly creating the audio podcast portions of our shows. We're going to get those up there. We're going to hopefully get an iTunes podcast, RSS feed. So we're slowly doing a lot of stuff in the background. And I guess I'd like to publicly thank Ven over from the Linux Gamecast show, who provided us some pointers and some tips so that we weren't reinventing the wheel on this whole podcast thing, since it's new to each one of us. We've never officially, we've never done a real podcast before. And so it's been a learning experience, been quite involved, as people may see the show and think, it's just three guys that got together and they talk about stuff and it's not hard at all. But there is quite a bit amount of work that goes on behind the scenes that nobody's aware of. So, hopefully all the viewers appreciate our efforts, and we're hopefully only getting better as the weeks go on with our shows. We're attempting to do the best that we can and provide you guys some Linux information in regards to technology and gaming. Hopefully we do that. That's our goal, is to have a friendly banter with each other and with you guys, provide you with Linux tech and gaming news, hence the name. Linux Tech and Gaming.
Oh, that's what we do here? Tech and gaming?
Yeah.
Oh.
Linux. No. Linux Tech and Gaming.
Oh, Linux.
Yeah.
I was wondering what you guys were talking about.
So make sure you guys, if you tweet at us or tweet anything about the show, try to include the hashtag LinuxTag. It's right there in the lower right corner of the stream. And, that way, because we have, TweetDeck, or we have tweet stuff lists set up that'll show us what's going on with our hashtag. And we do now have a Twitter as well, which is at Linux_tag. Is that correct, Osiris?
That is 100% correct.
Okay, so we got that. And we're slowly, filling out the rest of the social media, sites, whatever, with Linux Tech and Gaming. So we will announce our website when it's ready, when it's live and we feel it's ready enough to let the world see it. And that'll hopefully be soon. Definitely, we just need to get some graphics done and whatnot, and some more back end work, and we'll be ready to share it with you guys. And we look forward to that. I've been, really excited with how fast we've been moving along with the progression of the show and getting everything updated. You guys have anything that you wanted to add?
Yeah, don't forget about our Steam group if Steam ever comes back.
Right.
We have a Steam group. It's the Linux Tech and Gaming group.
Yeah.
Click on it.
Say hi.
Yeah.
Play some games.
You should be able to find it.
Yeah.
Check out our recommended games.
We're only one out of 10 or 15 or 20 Linux Tech and Gaming groups that are out there.
Follow them all. Just follow them all.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up for episode 15 of the Linux Tech and Gaming podcast. Again, I appreciate each and every one of you as a viewer, and I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Until then, we'll talk to you guys. Have fun gaming.